Have you ever wondered about the hidden power of salt in prayer? Today we'll talk about the ancient biblical teachings to uncover the divine connection between salt and spiritual breakthroughs. Stay tuned until the end for a special prayer using salt that can transform your prayer life. First, let's look at the spiritual significance of salt. Salt has held a significant role in the Bible, symbolizing purity, preservation, and the power of covenant. In 2 Chronicles 13:5, we learn of the covenant of salt between God and the people of Israel. It reads, "Don't you know that the Lord, the God of Israel, has given the kingship of Israel to David and his descendants forever by a covenant of salt?" This covenant represents something unbreakable, eternal. Just like how salt preserves, God's promises preserve us. Salt was also involved in offerings to God. Numbers 18:19 mentions how the Lord gave the Israelites their offerings through a covenant of salt, showing that salt was not just a symbol but a sacred element that binds gods and man. In 2 Kings 2:19-22, the people came to the prophet Elisha because their water was contaminated, causing the land to be unfruitful and people to suffer. What did Elisha do? He threw salt into the water and declared healing over it, saying, "This is what the Lord says, I have healed this water, never again will it cause death or make the land unproductive." And the water became pure and the land flourished. Just as salt purified the water in Elisha's miracle, using salt in our prayers can be symbolic of asking God to purify and bless our lives, homes, and relationships. Even Jesus spoke about the power of salt. In Matthew 5:13, he said, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot." When Jesus calls us the salt of the earth, he's telling us to live lives that preserve goodness, truth, and faith. When we include salt in our prayers, we're aligning ourselves with this call to be agents of preservation and blessings in the world. So how can you use salt in your prayers? Salt can be used as a point of contact, a physical representation of what you're believing God for. When you hold the salt in your hands, pray over it, and ask God to purify your life, heal your situations, and bless your efforts, just as Elisha purified the water. Simply sprinkle a little in your home, on the ground, or around something you're praying for. It is not a magical act, but a step of faith, believing that the God of covenants will honor your prayers. This act is so powerful that even some dark spirits and evil omen respect this ancient ritual and stay off those who practice this by faith. Why? Because it's a covenant established by the Creator himself. Now let's take a moment to pray.